Good everyone. Today we'll be presenting our business idea, which is called Indus Express. And my name is Ifeoluwa Shode. I'm a computer science major at Fix University.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm studying for Administration and International Business.
Hey, my name is Mohammed, and I'm a computer science senior at FISC.
So this is a content of what we'll be talking about today, mainly our business plan. And for you as investors, we would love you to kind of listen and write notes as we go through this meeting today. Okay. So without wasting much of our time, we'll go straight to the industry analysis of our business plan and which industry are we currently. So first, we'd like to talk about the life cycle of our business. And when we look at the landscape, we see three distinct stories in this landscape. First, the broad and fast casual market, which is in the maturity stage. It's quite massive. We have crowded players like Chipotle, Kava, and many more. We're trying to rely on the general market good here. We're trying to steal the market share by offering something very, very different. Second, we have the build your own bowl model. This is in the growth stage. Customers already love this format as seen our competitors like Chipotle, and we know that this works. And so we don't have to educate them on the process. And finally, we have this new introducing stage, this new and stage that is in the introduction stage, which is the fast casual Indian food. This is, I'll say, our blue ocean. It's the first mover into the scalable niche, and our job is just to lower the barriers for entries for new customers. So now we'll be talking about the BCG2 matrix. This places us in the specialized quadrant of the BCG2 matrix. We aren't playing the volume game like McDonald's. We're trying to be everything to everyone. We are specialized in what we do, trying to have a distinct competitive advantage. And our advantage is really bringing a completely new flavor profile to the assembly line format that we already see at our competitors. Going straight to talk about the key success factors. To dominate this niche, we focus on three key success factors, which is operational speed. Having a 15-minute line, on standby to make sure that customers can see their meal and pick up their meal and be it as fast as Chipotle that we currently see. Flavor consistency. This is very critical for our franchise that we're trying to build. The food must stay the same at all times, and strategic location. Having a location where our target audience are, which is students, workers. I will dive more into this. It's something that we're going to look into. And now we'll be looking into the Porter's 5 forces. This is split into two aspects: now and the now analysis, and we'll be talking about the future analysis later on. If you see the now analysis, we're looking at a competitive footprint today. We will see that we have an average score of it's about 2.4 out of 5. This is agile, this is small. We hope that our influence on the suppliers and the market is quite relatively low, rated at 2 or 5. This is we're entering quietly with low overhead, flexible model, and we're trying to navigate this aggressive competition and this aggressive market. But if we take a look at what we hope to have in the future, after we've become a giant in this space, we hope to maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, this story will change, and we'll see that we have an average of 4.6 out of 5. This will increase in about this increase isn't about risks, it's about dominance. We become giants in this field, and you will see that the threat of new entries has become 5 over 5. This is because we have built a massive barrier to entry. We have become the best and become the giants in this aspect of providing Indian dishes in a fast and scalable way. And we also see that the supplier power is now 4 over 5. The number increases because our value makes us a power player. We're purchasing such massive quantities that will command the market's attention. And also overall, this high numbers represent the weight of our presence in the industry. We'll move from being a small startup, from being in a small location, to being in almost all states in the United States and even across the world, and we will be the heavy champions of this category. So now we'll be talking about market analysis. We'll be passing it up to Mohammed to discuss this.
Hey, so we're going to go first into the strategic group mapping. Where do we fall on the map? So the two main factors that we're considering here are menu approachability and the speed of service. So we basically get these 4 quadrants. And first, I'm going to be comparing the Indian restaurants. So we have traditional Indian restaurants that tend to be on the slower side of speed of service and low menu approachability. And then we have some Indian buffets, which also tend to have a bit faster service, but still there's a concern of freshness for them. And then on the right quadrant, where we have fast foods, like generic fast casual foods like Chipotle and other Panda Express, other fast food chains that have a high approachability and fast speed, but our Indus Express also falls in that quadrant. Can go next. Okay, so our position is the top right quadrant, which is for high speed and high accessibility. So where's the opportunity? So currently there's no dominant players. Where there's high speed and accessibility in Indian cuisine. So we're entering the same market as Chipotle and Kava, but but our differentiating factor is the product, which is the Indian flavor, right? Indian flavor profile. All right, next. So what are the strategic implications that so for marketing, right? Because our position relies on high accessibility, so our marketing is going to be around that point, which is we need for our customers to feel some sort of familiarity, right? It's like we're going to market it as Chipotle for Indian food, and then so for since our selling point is high speed, we're going to make sure that our operations are also in that direction where speed is not negotiable, so it's non-negotiable. And our pricing strategy is also going to be around where the fast foods are, not traditional Indian restaurants. Next slide. All right, we're going to talk about the company description a little bit. So how was Indus Express's idea came into being? So it was formed by listening to people. So we did feasibility analysis and listened to the people for our design thinking. We listened to people around us, students, some professionals, and we came up with this idea of having authentic Indian food, but not like a traditional restaurant, but a fast food style authentic Indian food. Okay. So Indus Express is like a space for exploring new flavors without instrumentation. That's the main point, where you have high accessibility. The menu is simple. You don't have foreign words in the menu, and you get the food at a very high speed. So that's where our idea comes into play. And yeah, so our mission statement is also to make Indian food welcoming, easy, and um, enjoyable by a plethora of people, like all, not only Indian customer clientage, but like all ethnicities. All right, so our products main product is going to be build your own bowl, just like Chipotle. So where you have some carbs, then you choose your proteins, you choose sides, and then you have drinks and other extra items on the menu.
So yeah, now we'll be talking about the design and development of our idea. So first, in this design and development of our idea, this will focus on two main parts, like the intellectual property and our technology. So we have the trademark, which is basically going to be our Indus Express, our logos, our taglines, basically to ensure that our idea or our identity is being protected. And we also have copyright, ensuring that all our training materials, our operational materials are being protected, which, as I said, intellectual property. We also have our the app that we hope to build. This is on technology side. We're not just building a kitchen, and we're building it like a digital platform as well. Based on our interview, we know that our target market will be to students, will be to professionals, office workers. And, having an app is like an experience. Providing and developing like a priority mobile ordering system that integrates directly with our kitchen display units to ensure that customers can order from their desk and just pick up their food in minutes. So now we're talking about the marketing plan.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, our overall marketing strategy is around familiarity, right? So the core message is always going to be saying we offer it as a Chipotle, but for Indian flavors. And how we get this is through our feasibility analysis. The one barrier that we saw significantly was menu intermediation. Like, people are not very comfortable trying out different cuisines, so that's the barrier that we want to overcome. And so our approach to marketing is also going to be visual first approach. We don't want exotic long descriptions. Instead, we more like need high quality images, visuals of those foods, so people can get familiar with it. And so the target customer segmentation, so we have two types of customers. The first is the efficiency seeker, the people who need a very fast service. They need online ordering, mobile ordering. So it's like campus events, and how we reach to them is like through campus events, because the clientage is mostly students in that. Then we do office geofencing, digital ads. And the secondary is the cautious explorers, people who want mild options, who want have specific allergies and stuff. So how we reach to them is through local influencers and taste tests in community events. So the sales process is going to be a hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid model. So first we have the in-store, the assembly line is our primary sales tool. Then we'll also offer a digital mobile app where you can order ahead, pick up, or we can integrate it with our third-party delivery services like Uber Eats. And the tactics and the price promotions. So first is a free sampling policy. We'll have free sampling policy so people can get familiar with what they want to get. They can try it for the first time. And for pricing, we have a tiered pricing model where you'll have an $8 value bowl, which is low margin, but we do it at a high volume. And then we have a $15 Indus box, which will get you premium proteins, higher portions, which drives the profit margin. So these both pricing are to cater different clientage. Now we're going to talk about the operational plan.
So yeah, I'll take this part of the operational plan, which is basically the Cypop diagram. But to go in depth into the Cypop diagram, we just pick one of the headings, which is the food distributors. Having food distributors like Tyson Food, which can supply us meat, chicken, to ensure that this raw ingredients that I mentioned, meat or chicken, to ensure that we are picking from people that are really great in this aspect of providing food. Then we have prep this raw ingredients like the meat or chicken and cook them, make sure that it's ready for entry for the customers to pick them. And as Mohammed has talked about the customer segment, and customers are ready to pick up this ready and delicious meal, and customers like the students or professionals. That's kind of how the cycle diagram will kind of look. Now we'll be discussing the value stream map, which Mohammed will be discussing.
Yeah, so the value stream map, we have at the center, we have our order management, which shows what are the processes that we go through from the time someone walks in to the time customer gets their food. And we have estimated times for each of the process. And in the next slide, I'm gonna talk about what we deduced from this value stream map. So the main bottleneck we saw was at station 2, where you get the base and entree. It has the longest processing time of almost 75 seconds and a higher error rate. And a second friction point that we saw is like a 30-second delay between station 3 and 4, which mimics a jam or like a number of people waiting in the line, right? So what strategic actions we can take to make our experience more better is we'll deploy our fastest employees at the station 2. So to attack the 75-second bottleneck that we have over there. Then for technology, we to eliminate the 30-second lag, we're gonna encourage people to order ahead on our online app. That way, they can bypass the process 1 and 4 from the value stream map. And to decrease the error rate in training, we can have some sort of visual training. For example, we can have different colored utensils for different proteins, which will make the error rate lower.
For the logistic route, next slide, please. Okay, we show the land transport. So to transport our samples, we will use a 20 kilograms pallet with the standard dimensions of 48 times 48 times 48 inches. The merchandise will be 22 kilograms. It's a very small volume. So we choose the LTL, less than truckload. This type of transport is ideal when the cargo doesn't fill an entire truck, as it allows shipment from different customers to be consolidated in the same vehicle, optimize space and reduce cost. We don't have any specific route because of the situation, and we depend on the schedule of the Mexican carrier. The company responsible for moving our samples within Mexico is Celotrans, and it's a freight forwarder that will transport the merchandise from Mexico to Nuevo Laredo, Texas, on Laredo, Texas. Also, we are going to use a transfer only to cross the border. And for the United States import, we are going to use an import carrier from this country. We'll take over the import leg and deliver the shipment to the provided zip code and completing the delivery in the Nashville, United States. Okay, the applicable trade agreements. Next slide. Yes. The document that we are going to use is for the Mexico as exporter is a commercial, let me see, I didn't see, but I have this one. Okay. The commercial invoice, the packing list, the phytosanitary certificate is from Senacica. It's a Mexican governmentally company. And the transportation document here in Mexico is Cartaporte, and the registration in the exporter registry in Spanish is Padrón de Exportadores from SAT, and USMCA certificate of origin in Spanish is also TEMEC. Okay, the next one, please. This is are like different pictures of this kind of documents. So if you can see, they're in Spanish because, well, I live here in Mexico. But when we change from the document from the United States as an importer is different. So can you go to the next slide? Okay, the document that we need, like United States importer, is FDA registrations, prior notice, the FSVP Foreign Supplier Verification Program, and USDA appeals, inspections, and FDA labeling requirements. It's different as Mexico because from when you want to send merchandise to United States, you need more documents and more permission for this country. It's different for us, but it's a really interesting way to do all these kind of like movements. Can you change, please? And also, okay. Well, the Incoterm that we are going to use is delivery to factory, is X word, agree to place. This is a pictures for all the responsibility of the seller, but all the risk is from the buyer. And mean the delivery to factory is basically the sellers make the goods available to the buyer at this house. Why did we choose X word? Because it's easier to use it and we don't get an insurance. So like a normal export and we don't have to pay for that. We only need to send the samples because we are only taped for the restaurant and that's only. The next one. Okay. The exchange rate used is 18.49 Mexican per $1. So this is the exchange of the rate that we use for this exercise because we make like in Spanish we say like corrida for notice or different prices in Mexico and the United States. But we are going to send the merchandising in dollars, not in pesos. But we need to send we need to do the conversation. Okay, this is like a mini resume. So, for example, the unit price is $29.40. If we add both like the guava and the dried chipotle chili, but the buyer needs to pay for the export packaging, $13.67. The domestic freight, $100.30, and the port charges, $556.87, and the US import carrier like $150.62, and all the risk is for the buyer. And this is like all the arithmetic calculate that we made for that. We also use in dollars and Mexican pesos, but all the export is going to be to use dollars. And we have like mini screenshot of the Mexican pesos and the dollars. For the packaging, we are going to use for the guava 2 boxes from different jars, and from the chili, we are going to use only 1 mini box, and that's only because the weight is only 2 kilos. And we also have the screenshot of that. Okay, here in Mexico, the name of this kind of way to send the products is fracción arancelaria, but for United States is HS code, harmony system code. That is the name, like they are like a kind of numbers that you need to certificate the merchandising. And that's only I put the guava and the chili. This is a real like a real prices because I work in a logistic company and I made with my resources.
So now we'll be talking about the team that we assembled for this great idea. So yes, we would have Mohammed, which is going to be the founder and CEO of this company, myself, the co-founder, and working as the chief marketing and technical officer. Then we would have Andrea. Andrea is going to be the co-founder, head of the international markets, and we have Dr. Pelly has been giving us, a lot of financial advice, has been our entrepreneur development professor, giving us, having expertise and providing us, financial modeling and forecasting and, fundraising strategies. So now we'll be talking about the overall schedule, of how we hope the Indus Express is going to go. So to bring, Indus Express to life, we kind of have like a clear and de-risk timeline. From month 1 and month 2, we focus on legal groundwork, incorporating and securing our seed funding. By month 3, we move into test kitchen phase. This is where we finalize our recipes. We write that rock solid operation manual before we even sign a list. By month 5, we open, or once Once the product is perfect, we secure a lease for a pilot location. We're kind of targeting a smaller, takeout focused footprint to keep the overhead low. This will lead us to month 9, where we go live. We have our live date open. We will open our doors for first sales. This schedule allows us to be able to build our technology panel to physical build out, ensuring both are ready on day 1. So now we'll be talking about the economies of business, and I'll pass it on to Mohammed.
Yes, so I'm going to go over the financial structure. So our primary revenue is going to come from the high volume lunch sales that we're going to have with the tiered pricing model we've discussed earlier, which is value bowls for catered towards students and price sensitive customers, but premium boxes catered more towards the professionals. So secondary revenue we're going to have is high margin business to business model, which is catering in office lunches or university events, right? And the target margins that we have is 15 to 20% net profit, which is pretty average for a restaurant. The cost structure. So our fixed costs are going to be rent, which we'll try to minimize by small footprint, technology stack, with like our app, point of sale, and the salaried management. Then our variable costs is going to be ingredients that we're going to use, packaging, and the hourly labor. And startup costs is moderate compared to other businesses, which will be an estimated around 150 to 250K. And our break-even point is lower than traditional restaurants due to the reduced rent and labor, and we rely on high throughput during the lunch hours. So what is the strategic impact? So for real estate, we have a strategy to have smaller spaces, or you can have ghost kitchens. We can start with ghost kitchens rather than a premium dine-in experience. Supply chain strategy, we want to import from Mexico, which bypasses like expensive US distributors. And for menu, where the value tier will be strictly portion controlled. So we want to keep the premium meats for the premium box instead of the value box.
For the financial projections, well, we'll be using our own financial resources since we only be sending samples for testing in the restaurant. So we are only paid for the export packaging, domestic freight, port charges, and United States import carrier. And that's only in like a mini resume.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation and about our business plan. And now we'll just give an overview, or each of us will talk about the feedback that we got from the core project. First, I could go first. The project was a really amazing project, allowed me to delve into taking up this space, taking up the role as an entrepreneur, improved my communication skill, my teamwork skills. Having to even work with somebody outside the United States was really amazing. That's never really happened to me. I was great, the program or the project, so I was really amazing. And I look forward to, even having more, even going into these spaces and working with other people from various backgrounds. I open out to my teammates to talk about their experiences as well.
Yes.
Sorry. Well, in my case, I really enjoy this project because I learn about several countries different from my own. And I feel that meeting people from different parts of the world help us to understand different cultures and language, and maybe their own economy. So for me, it's like a really nice project.
Yeah, it was a really good experience coming up with the idea from scratch with all of y'all, and then building onto each and every part of the business plan, doing research, going out, doing interviews for the feasibility analysis, working with people across borders, and working on each aspect, and researching, delving deeper into what goes into a business. I've learned a lot throughout the semester and hope to use all these skills that I've acquired.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.